15-time UEFA Champions League winners, Real Madrid, went to Wanda Metropolitano Stadium in Spain, where they were lucky to scrap a penalty shootout win against Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid got their equalizing goal through Gallagher, who took his chance in the first minute of the game. And also, we'll be looking at the issue of Jim Ratcliffe, who said that a lot of United players are on high budget and they are not good enough. We spoke about a lot of key players who definitely will be leaving, and somehow United will be playing against Real Sociedad at the Old Trafford to navigate the round of 16 in the Europa League competition. A competition where so far they've not conceded any defeat. And let's hope that Ruben Amorim's side will come up with something momentum for the Red Devils. And also we'll be looking at the issue of the death of Diego Armando Franco Maradona, who died in 2020. And somehow the chief prosecutor for the case have decided to look into the circumstances that led to his death. This is the offside, and we'll be looking at a lot of things as we discuss on this edition of the show. Nene. Champions League. Real Madrid, 15-time winners, they were lucky to scrap a victory at the Wanda Metropolitano Stadium, where they were lucky. I think if they hadn't cancelled that Julian Alvarez penalty, I was envisaging a situation where we would have seen Atletico Madrid coming out tops in that match, because they gave their all in that game. The energy was top-notch, the way they took that goal from Gallagher, and they were very solid going forward and defending. And Oblak was at his best, and Courtois too did well to save Real Madrid. So what were the high points of that game for you?
Well, I was really rooting for Madrid to win, because I consider them a better opponent than Atletico Madrid, because there's people that they normally say, if you want to be the best, you must be the best. They're all also looking at the way Atletico plays, and I think Madrid, actually, I was rooting for them, even though when I was watching the match, I was supporting against them, because most of United fans ended up being Real Madrid fans. I don't know how. So, of course, the bashing there and there, so I ended up supporting against them, but I was really hoping they win. I can really agree with a lot of people that say that Madrid are just lucky, because at some point you look at their match and the way they end up winning, you see that, wow, it includes
just
luck.
Little margins,
honestly, it's
luck
just little magic. It really counts for them, because look at what happened yesterday. A slight mistake from Alvarez taking the penalty shootout.
And that's the first time I never knew that, because I was expecting that they would have
retake the penalty. That was what I was hoping, I was thinking would happen, but at the end of the day, the goal was disqualified. And it wasn't like he did it intentionally, just left and fall. So let's just say that Madrid at some point luck favors them. But it was a really good game. I was paying more attention to Arsenal game, even though I was looking their game, but it was an intense game. You see Atletico, they were so physical, running Madrid and it was really good, but I think the better team won.
Okay, talking about the better team winning, I think when you be looking at the round of 16, the quarterfinal, you'll be looking at Arsenal will be coming as underdog in that game, because Real Madrid, having won the competition 15 times, they'll be looking at winning it for the 16th time. Do you really think that Arsenal have got what it takes to navigate qualification into the semi-final from that game?
All I can
considering
say,
the fact that Arsenal doesn't even have an Arsenal striker.
Yeah, so. But Arsenal on their good day can beat anything. I would say that over and over and anywhere, because if our team again take up the responsibility, we can run through Madrid. Madrid are a good side. They have very good players, but they're also a very good time, and our record against big clubs. We also have history with Real Madrid. So, but putting all histories aside, because I'm not a big fan of that though, and record, I believe that I believe more in momentum. Like if you can have it now, you do it now and win it now. Yeah, but going to history, I think we can. And looking at our team this season, even without a striker, I think we can get down. We can beat Real Madrid for home and away, if only our team put up a very good performance.
Okay, talking about a good performance, Real Sociedad and United will be playing. By the time this video will be out, I'm sure that the match would have ended. Jim Ratcliffe said something. He said United players are not good enough. He said a lot of players are on high budget. But the question, and he listed players like Casemiro, Antony, Rashmond, Onana, and one other player, Jadon Sancho, as the players that are not good enough, and including Martinez too. So the Butcher is not good enough. Sancho, they said, is not good enough, but he's performing well.
Very well, and Antony as well.
Antony is having a lease of life in Spain.
Yeah.
So now the question is, were they forced to give those guys the salary?
That was exactly what I wanted to say.
Because you agreed, you went for a negotiation, and you said this is what we're going to pay you.
Exactly.
So why suddenly you just come up? Because I don't know. I think the Ineos, they're not facing what the challenge is at the Old Trafford.
Absolutely.
Sacking backroom staff. In April, 250 are going to go.
Imagine.
And now, 200, they start 250 already.
Imagine.
200 is going to go in April. And now you're talking about players. So you're going to have a clear out. And
I don't know. Are United broke? Is the board broke or what? Because I don't get. They keep saying they are one of the richest clubs, but looking at their own financial up and down, cutting down expenses, taking legends, ambassadors,
they are looking for money to build the 2 billion.
Yeah, I think so, because they are being too financial disciplined, and I think it's going to affect the club.
They need to cut costs in order to build that stadium.
Absolutely, but I think it's going to affect them because these staff, they employed them for a reason, and letting them go without it. We bringing new ones in, I think it's going to affect the club. And I don't know, a fan or whosoever that made that statement, saying that about the club, like you actually said that they do negotiations with the players and you agree to pay them this certain amount. You have scouts. You guys scouted the players. Everybody agree. Okay, let's bring in this player. I think they'll be good for the system and the team. You bring them in. You agree to pay them certain amounts, and now you are saying they're not good enough for the club. Now you are saying that they are paying them too much.
Yeah.
What is wrong with United?
I think it's a recurrent trend. You could remember when the Real Madrid wanted the gear, and they felt that this guy is going to go to Real Madrid. They were on their heels. They signed, negotiated a new contract, £375,000 a week, and within a year they called the young man, this money that we're paying you is too much. We need to reduce. The paper was on the table. Just 1 week to the end of the transfer market, they called the young man and said, go and look for a club. And that guy had to stay without a club for 1 season.
But you know what? And they normally say, whatever thing the devil gives, the devil collects. So they are the red devils. We don't expect much from them.
Talking about the red devil, let's leave United and their issue. Now, there's something happening at Anfield. The rock of Anfield defense. Talking about Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah.
He said, it is a false for anybody to say there is a contract talk on the table. He said he doesn't even know where he's going to end up next season. What do you think this would bring to Anfield as a club? Because losing Virgil van Dijk, who has been the rock of their defense, and now up to this moment, nobody is negotiating about renewing his contract. I don't know. What's your take on this?
And it was it's the same with Salah. At the same time, now it's Van Dijk. I think that there are some negotiations. You don't wait for some contracts to end, because we all know the good effect of Van Dijk in Liverpool team. Is very good. It's very solid. It has been massive. Even their last game, even though they were knocked out, but he was one of their key players. He did extremely well, but unfortunately, Liverpool are out of the Champions League. So I think that if you look at the overall performance of Van Dijk, he has been really, really good for Liverpool. It's the work of the defense, like you said. So if they are taking too long to do the negotiations, I think it's not that good from the club, because in my club, we'll say Arsenal, maybe if players have 2 years and 1 year contract left, you see they try to renew the contract. Yeah. So Salah the last time come out and said the same thing. Now Van Dijk. So I don't really know. Maybe they want to let the players go. Maybe they are thinking of rebuilding the team considering the age, or maybe they are taking their time. But I don't really know. But I hope they, you know, renew the contract and see how best they can keep him, because he has been very good.
But that's the dicey one for them. You know, the match they lost at Anfield against PSG, you could see the owners of PSG, they were having backroom discussion with Virgil van Dijk in the tunnel. So you never can tell. The owner can be saying, look, guy, if they've not renegotiated your contract,
you can come here.
I have a blank check for you. You need to come over to France. You're going to enjoy it there.
And PSG are good at doing that, because they did that with Barca. I mean, Neymar played very well with against them with Barcelona. And at the end of the day, Neymar ended up going out to PSG, and Van Dijk has the chance to go there. So he has played well. He has achieved a lot of stuff. So if he wants to go to PSG, I don't think anything is wrong with that, with a good sum of money.
Yeah, because after all, that's what we are playing.
Yeah, we are playing not only to
entertain people. You need to play for your future.
Trophies. You are paying to earn money. It's your job. It's your livelihood. So I think if he chooses to go for whatever reason, it's not a bad thing.
Anyway, Anfield supporters, you need to do something about that, because if you lose Virgil van Dijk, that's a big challenge for Liverpool. Now to the big one. Diego Armando Franco Maradona was a player that graced the football pitch with a lot of poignant performances. And yet, we could remember that goal he scored against England at the World Cup, where the referees and the linesmen thought that he used his head, but somehow it was his hand he used in scoring against Peter Shilton, and he referred to it as the hand of God. And the English people never liked him for that. But somehow, this is a man that brought beauty, panache to the beautiful game of football.
Yeah.
Even though he's dead now, it's been almost like 4 years ago that he died. He passed away on November 23rd, 2020. Now, his children aren't leaving any stone unturned, because they felt that their dad died out of negligence, and that they need to look at the process that led to his death. We could remember that having returned from the surgical operation where the blood clot was removed from his head, that he was sent back to his home where he died. But people are saying that there are some things that really occurred, because I'm looking at it that if you are my personal doctor, because the personal doctor is the person that is facing the jury now. If you're my personal doctor, you need to take cognizance of the fact that you are my personal doctor. You need to take care of me, watch me on a daily basis, rather than discharging me from the hospital and you just drop me at home. So the tendency is that, because one of the key challenges that affected Diego Maradona's health was that he was obese, because he was indulged in alcoholism and also drug. So if you take him out of the medical environment, where they need to monitor his state minute by minute, or second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, it means that you are giving room for him to do something that is inevitable. And that was exactly what they're trying to find out here, that this is what led to his death. What's your take here?
I'm actually looking at it in a two way, because one is that it might be negligence, as you say. Two is maybe the stubbornness of Maradona. Unfortunately, isn't alive to tell his own story, his own part of the story. But if it is if you're looking at it in point of view from the negligence part, I think that as a medical professional, a personal doctor to somebody, you already know that this person is going through this. This person is suffering from this. It's your responsibility to take care of the person. Even if at some point the person might insist, which goes to the other point that I said, insist of going back home, you should at least assign somebody, or nurse or something, or tell the person the risks that involves them going back
and let
home.
the family know.
Let the family know in case the person is doing stubborn. So at the end of the day, you can clear your name, say, look at this, this is this that happened. The family signed for his release from the hospital. He also signed that he wants to go home. And I think that some medical advice should have given to him. Maybe he had a talk with Maradona. Maybe the man said they know you that he can't survive or whatsoever. I don't really know, but all I can say that as a medical profession, you shouldn't be professional. You shouldn't be negligent of such
Especially when you have the responsibility
Yeah.
of taking care of this person's medical
Exactly.
history. Anyways, the last has not been heard of this case because Federico Ferreira, the prosecutor, is hell bent on ensuring that they get to the nitty-gritty of what led to the death of the football legend. And this has been on this edition of Offside. A lot of things. One will come back on this channel to give you more review. Nane has got something to say to the fans.
Keep subscribing and make your comments count. Come on.
Yes, keep subscribing and make your comments count. And this has been on this edition once again. I want to say thank you for spending your hard-earned money to buy your data, to keep on browsing and checking on the offsides. It is the offside. Watch the offside.